Good copy. All right. Good morning, everybody. We are live. And this morning we're going to be talking about, well, really, I got three things that I want to talk about. Events from
Potpourri.
yesterday. Little news potpourri. So we got the Chinese military parade. We've got the AFD assassinations. And we've got Trump putting down the narco-terrorists in the 11 narco-terrorists in the boat. Got Mario here with me. Good morning, sunshine. How are you holding up?
I'm all right.
And I'm going to get you that pop out real quick. Do. So, Mario.
Yeah.
Let's talk about which one do you want to start with?
I guess we can start with the German elections. Okay, so I believe was it 7 or 8 Alternative for Deutschland party candidates have died mysteriously in this past week, right?
Died suddenly.
Died suddenly. This died suddenly 2.0, where the vaccine specifically targets uh, politicians who are counter to the prevailing narrative, right? So, right, and there's been really no interest by the German government to investigate, okay, what happened to them. It's already fallen out of the news cycle. Like there's no new information, okay? The German government is not releasing any new information. The German police are not releasing any new information, right? They just suddenly died, and that's going to be it. So, if you want to know the truth about what's going on, I guess you're going to have to wait until some intrepid citizen journalist there on the ground in Europe basically rolls it up in a Substack or something. Okay, I'll be on the lookout for it. I'll let you know when I get it. But it's been it's under just lock and key. All right. Alternative for Deutschland, of course, is the second most popular political party in Germany right now. And the fact that and the party leader Alice Vidal, I believe her name is, she came out and publicly stated that it's statistically impossible um, for this many members of their party, okay, or this many candidates to fall ill suddenly and die um, from natural causes or whatever. Okay, statistically impossible. Which, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Something fishy is going on. The German government, of course, has debated many times of just outright banning the party, but it's kind of hard to ban a party it's the second most popular party in the country, right?
And we covered earlier this year, the AFD was targeted directly by the government and disarmed. There were,
They have been for years. They've just
lawful.
passed a law. Yeah, they just passed a law that weapons members of the AFD cannot purchase weapons. Okay, if you are an AFD member and you are a member of the civil service, okay, you can be subject to like warrantless electronic surveillance, right, at any time. So, being a member of the AFD, Alternative for Deutschland, effectively makes you a second-class citizen, right, in Germany. And in fact, being German in Germany makes you a second-class citizen to the migrants, all right. And being a member of the AFD makes you third class. You're basically a fucking Dalit as far as the German government is concerned.
Right.
The German government is, of course, since 2015, with Angela Merkel opening the doors, opening the doors to migration, inviting millions of people into the country, has become a narco-terrorist state. All right, where non-citizens are allowed to essentially commit crimes freely against the German people. They will not be seriously held accountable for it. If the jail times are sentences are slim, okay, if any, and they just go on collecting government benefits. I mean, this was done under that lie that's been sold to many countries that, well, we have a labor shortage. If we don't bring in all these people, who's going to pay the taxes? You know what I mean? But the reality is, there have been statistics collected, and 80% of the Syrians that were brought in from 2015 to 2018, okay, are 80% of them are unemployed and collecting welfare.
Yeah.
So, they don't work. You're only bringing in cancer. You're inviting in cancer to destroy your own people. That's what they do, and they will not stop. And if you try to oppose it, they'll label you a Nazi. Like, just defending your own homeland, trying to defend your own people makes you a Nazi. Then we all Nazi now, okay, motherfucker.
And it makes me wonder, Mario, how much Soros money do you think is involved in German politics? Right, we talk often, like hell. Yesterday, we talked about Soros-backed DAs and the Democrat, the left wing, soft on crime positions in America. But you got to think somebody like Soros. I mean, that is a global interest.
George Soros is open society
all over the planet.
George Soros is macro organization, okay, which he uses to dole out his ill-gotten gains, right, for various left-wing causes. That foundation is called the Open Society Foundation. And in 2015 through 2016, I mean, imagine George Soros as kind of like the Eye of Sauron, okay? And he's paying for certain things. It might not be his particular focus at that time. It's not what he's staring at directly, right? But in Germany, 2015, 2018, yes, he was staring at Germany. And he was instrumental in funding the NGO networks that were bringing these people or encouraging these people to go into Germany. Okay. So the NGOs, which we've covered many times on this program, NGOs are the vehicle through which communists and various other sundry traitors, all right, enact their malice upon this country and the West at large.
Now, as we're talking about these AFD politicians going down,
thank you, Cheeseburger. I'll take a compliment.
Yeah, we see you there, Cheeseburger. We got you, baby.
No matter what name you choose, we're gonna know it's you. Okay, just so you know.
But these AFD assassinations, and I mean, like you said, statistically anomalous. It's just not statistically possible for this to have happened. For 7, the reporting is a little foggy on this. I'm seeing 6, 7, and 8 respectively being reported. I think 7 is the number we're landing on, but
yeah.
But even 6. You know, we're talking about an election. When is that election?
Like the 13th. It's like
next week. It's imminent.
Yeah.
So just all of a sudden, a week before an election, you've got half a dozen plus candidates of one party just drop dead mysteriously.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so you got one. You know, here's the list. The Wolfgang Seitz was 59. Announced the unfortunate death of 66-year-old Ralph Lang. Stefan Berendez died unexpectedly. So you got 59-year-old, 66-year-old, 59-year-old, 71-year-old. Okay, so some of these guys are a little older, but still, for all of them to just magically drop dead conveniently a week before the election. Santa Steve asks, is Hillary Clinton on the ticket? Did I drop you the link?
What link?
Yeah, I dropped you the link for the chat.
Yeah, I got it open.
Okay. So I said I didn't.
It actually looks like it seems like it's. I think it's working today in the normal viewing, the normal portal I have to access the show. So
yeah, everything appears to be working correctly this morning after a few days of the studio playing games with us. But Be Controversial says, but for real, Germany's starting to look like Mexico. And that's the point I was about to make. You know, last year, Mario, Gloria Sheinbaum, right, leading up to her election, there were 37 assassinations of other Mexican politicians in that election.
Yeah,
which is an uptick from previous, right? There were only 36 assassinations in the preceding midterm.
Yeah.
Right. Now, all that said, you know, we're looking at, and I'm gonna bring up some other stories to tie this together.
Mexico's a unique nightmare. Okay. So recently,
No, it's
Donald
not.
Trump is, well, okay, it's not unique, I guess. Okay,
It's part of something that's happening globally, and that something that's
yes.
happening globally is China.
Okay, China's a part of it. Real briefly on Mexico. Okay, yeah, Gloria Sheinbaum, right, first Jewish president of Mexico, which is, the Jews make up like 2% of the U.S. population. In Mexico, they make up like 0.2%. Okay, so
Right.
statistically, like really, like how is that even possible? Like who paid for that? Anyway, so right now the United States is Donald Trump is deliberating on whether or not we're going to basically do kinetic operations against the cartels, which I 100% support. As I've said on this program many times over the years, the only country that we have a justifiable, an actual casus belli, all right, against would be Mexico for the human trafficking, um, stealth invasion, all right, of our country, and for the criminal syndicate operations that affect both sides of the border. Okay,
I would
and a
extend
government
that
and a
to South
government which
American
is the
countries.
yeah, a lot of South American countries that would apply to. Okay, also recently in the Mexican, whatever the Mexican form of the Senate. Okay, there were actual fistfights amongst politicians as they were debating over how to respond to the United States' provocation. Why would that be? Why would they take it so personally? Because half those MFers are on the frickin' payroll. Okay, I guarantee you. Mexico is a politically failed state. What gives the state stability? What's holding it up is the cartel money. The cartels. It's like freaking what's that game? That game that takes place in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Okay, it's like some Romance of the Three Kingdoms type game, except it's various cartels that have divvied up various sections of the country. Yeah, one of those men is on the payroll for the cartels at a minimum.
Yeah, I was about to say
get
at a
fucked.
minimum.
Get
I suspect more likely what's going on here is each of those men is on the payroll of a different cartel.
Here, rewind that footage real quick. Did you miss that? No. Keep going back. You see that the guy in the green shirt like eat shit. This is hilarious. Get fucked, nerd.
With his Insta3. I want his footage. But did you
Yeah,
see what he had? That
yeah,
was a
yeah.
that
He
was
was
a
all,
that was a
it was up in
360
his
camera on
face.
a yeah, that
Yeah,
was a 360 camera on a monopod on a
yeah.
selfie stick.
This
I
dude,
want
this
his footage.
this dude cast Berserk from like World of Warcraft. Like he can't be stopped. He's freaking ogre berserkers.
Yeah. I was reading one of those silly fantasy books I like, and there's a nerd from our world in the
Of
fantasy
course,
world, and one
right?
of them somebody loots a potion, and it's a berserker potion. It's just a plain little glass bottle with red liquid in it. And
Yeah.
then the nerd from the real world loots one, and it's this ornate glass bottle with like an engraved cork stopper and a little label on it that says Acme Calm Be Gone.
Nice. So, be controversial makes a good point. They handed out pamphlets to migrants explaining what to do, say, if caught at the border. Yes, that would be a connection to
Yes.
George Soros and
Yeah,
the
that
Open
was
Society
straight up Open
Foundation. All right,
Society.
there
These are the magic words.
there are
Make
professional
sure
networks.
you say victim, asylum, right? Make sure you say war torn. Make sure you say poverty. Make sure
Yep.
you say persecuted.
Yeah, yeah. So
Make
there
sure you
are,
say I'm afraid to go home.
of course, that's right. Yep, coach them. The actors. So yes, there much like in Germany, okay, in Europe with the NGOs, all right, being well financed, okay, and well equipped to bring in illegals, all right, hostile foreign invaders to that continent. The exact same thing was going on for us. The exact same thing's been going on our southern border since, oh goodness, at least half of my life. Okay, probably since 9/11. And yeah, it's the same groups of people that are financing both. So there is a connection there. Now, As for Mexico, there's also a major protest movement going on right now over the missing 130,000 people. There are 130,000 people in recent years in Mexico who have simply disappeared. They're desaparecidos. Okay, there's no there's no investigation. Okay, the police have nothing to investigate. If the police would anyway, I don't. I've never met a Mexican cop, but they don't strike me as the type of person I'd walk up to in Mexico if I needed help.
No, not at all.
Unless I
Not
had
unless
like a,
I just had a lot
unless
of
I
loose
had
cash lying around.
exactly. If I had like $100 bill in my pocket, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll take my chances. Hey, muchacho, ciento de dólares.
It's like, hey,
Okay,
Hefe, these
okay,
guys over here have guns and they're trying to steal all my money. I'll give you all my money to make sure they don't kill me.
if you have another 50, I can even speak English. Good one, Jose. Let's just beat that gringo pinata for everything you can, right? It gets me back across the border, it's a deal.
Fabulous prizes fall out. Have you ever seen Born in East LA?
No, I know the premise though.
Yeah, Cheech gets deported, and the rest of the movie is about him trying to save up enough money. He's an American citizen, but he's obviously, of Mexican extraction, and he spends the rest of the movie working in Mexico trying to make enough money to hire a coyote to take him back across the border,
yeah.
so he can get his wallet off the mantelpiece and prove he's a citizen.
It's the same. I mean, look, it's the same thing with like the black people. Like, just carry your freaking ID. You could avoid so many problems if you just had identification on you. That's why you got deported. Anyway.
Well, in that film, I didn't mean to spend a lot of time on this, but let me make this point. So the film it's a comedy, but it's a critique of American immigration policy from the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And the critique, of course, is Americans and white people, they're just all racists, and they see this guy who looks Mexican, and they just assume that he's an illegal immigrant. Right. Now hold up, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not a big proponent of having to carry your papers and present them all the time, but in the movie, the reason he got deported, the way he got deported, it wasn't just like some random cop stopped him and said, "Hey, Vato, you got your driver's license on you?" No, in the movie, he left his wallet at home. He didn't have his ID on him, and then he went to his cousin's mechanic shop that employed dozens of illegal aliens, and happened to be there when the INS raided and took them all out. So he got swept up by mistake in a legitimate INS bust. So, there's a lot to be said for right place, wrong place, wrong time. Don't wear your short skirt down the dark alley, sweetheart.
That's right. Should have worn that dress. Really good Stone Temple Pilots song, by the way. Anyway.
I saw Stone Temple Pilots at Big Day Out one year, and they were all just wearing like tidy whities on stage. That was it. Just four dudes in their briefs singing amazing music, which was I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it was a personal shaping experience, but it was a hell of a show.
let me date myself here, okay? The first two albums I ever bought as a kid.
You might as well, because nobody else wants to. Except for maybe Cheeseburger. What up?
I have been cut down. Okay.
Indeed.
There is no recovery from such savage remarks. But that said, my first two albums I ever purchased as a child or as a teen were Stone Temple Pilots Core and Pearl Jam Versus. Okay. Those are my first albums. So.
Yep. Wow. The first cassette tape I ever bought was Charlie Daniels' Greatest Hits. And the first CD I ever owned was a birthday present from a girlfriend. And it was Aerosmith Big Ones. The one with the pierced cow nipple on the cover.
That was a good album.
It
That
was
a good album,
actually. It was an excellent album. So,
something wrong in the world today, and
everybody knows it's wrong. Yes. Yeah, I think it's the last refrain. He says, "There's something right with the world today,
Yeah.
and everybody knows it's wrong."
Yes.
Yes. So, this is a dramatic shift of topic, except only kind of, because as we were talking about political assassinations in Germany and Mexico, yesterday there also happened to be a massive military parade. Putin and Kim in China with Xi Jinping, with Jenny the Pooh, and it was all about unveiling China's massive military power. Excuse me, I got myself a little bout of hiccups. Sorry.
Ruh-roh. Yeah, I mean, look, it was an impressive spectacle. Okay, I mean, it mogged the shit out of our army parade. Okay, recently, and that's for two reasons basically. I mean, one, it's you got a homogenous population. Okay, so with a homogenous population, it's much easier to do those classical style military marches where everyone's in lockstep. Okay, because everyone looks the same, but everyone's the same height. Okay, and secondly, it's a communist country, so public spectacles it's easier to pull those off because it doesn't matter how many people you piss off or how many competing commands are going to be like, well, I can't really disperse my resources, or who's going to pay the the per diems, who's covering the government travel card bills for it's just there's so many layers of bureaucratic bullshit, all right, that our military has to deal with to do anything like this. I mean, yeah, it's no surprise.
Yeah, whereas when you're talking about Chinese military, it's just
go. Yeah,
you'll go if you want to eat or breathe tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your time, place, and uniform. Be there, or well, you don't eat.
And I mean, I'll give them this: their DNC, their drill and ceremony is on fucking point.
Well, they got it from the Soviets. I mean, it's where they learned it from.
Jesus, this cat right here in the middle in the white, his rifle is bigger around than he is. I'm looking at this, and these don't look like fit soldiers. They look like hungry soldiers.
Yeah. Be Controversial says, man, I can still see the army out of step in our parade.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That broke my heart a little bit. That cut me kind of deep. Drill and ceremony is one of those things that you do in the military that's not hard, and you can take pride in it because it is a skill, right? It's something that you can acquire to be able to perform drill and ceremony correctly, and when done right, it looks impressive. I mean that clip that I just showed you with those Chinese soldiers marching, they look impressive. And there's something between like a ballet and DNC where you take that grace, you take that discipline, and that practice and habit and fitness, and it's militarized and masculinized. And when you see it break because somebody's out of step, especially if a lot of somebody's are out of step, it just shatters the entire mystique of it.
It's a test of esprit de corps, okay? The spirit of the spirit of the body, okay? It's a term used in the American military quite a bit, all right? Really, if you're looking at a unit doing drill and ceremony, all right, I mean, it's maybe simplified, but it is a metric. You can in a simplified way, you can see everything you need to know. You can know everything you need to know about that unit, okay, by the way that they do drill and ceremony. How fit they are, how disciplined they are, all right, how motivated they are, all right, the quality of the connection between their leadership, okay, at the top and the soldiers at the bottom, okay. Everything you need to know about a unit, you can see through their drill and ceremony. Okay, or basically, it's how much do they give a shit? Like, what is the spirit of the body? Do these people care, or are these soldiers high speed, low drag, or are they tore up from the floor up? Okay, one or the other.
Ate up like a soup sandwich.
That's right.
And Sergeant Major, yeah, drill is zenful. Uh, drill is zenful.
Yeah, it is.
And it is a reflection of the leadership. Absolutely.
Yes. And when you're the soldier in the formation, okay, doing the performance, marching up and down the square, okay, yeah, and if you guys are in sync, like if you guys are nailing it, you can feel it, okay, you can sense it from your peripherals, okay, and you can hear it in the feet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know when you're hot, all right, when you're looking good.
Yeah. Remember running double time at battalion formations when we're still in Bravo Company, to the Bravo Company motto war cry, "The enemy is filled with chewy nougat." and
yeah,
and I know you must remember this one. I think it was when Colonel Sun took command at his change of command ceremony where he took over. They fired the cannons at Soldiers Field at Monterey on the Presidio, right? They fired the cannon as part of the ceremony, right? And when the first cannon round went off, it set off all the car alarms on post.
Based. That's right.
The entire post.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Sergeant Major. Not seen at Fort Meade. Fort Meade is my last duty station in the Army, and it was my most hated duty station. Okay, I would have given anything. I would have rather been sent to like Fort Detrick to work in the frickin' motor pool, okay, as my full-time job, than work in the S3, that 714th MI Battalion. Okay, I'm not kidding you. I hated Fort Meade. That place was soul crushing.
They at least get crab cakes though.
Well, it had nothing to do with Fort Meade. Yeah, the crab cakes are good. Okay. Yeah, Maryland, we do two things: crab cakes and football. Yeah.
They don't do football. Maryland does crab cakes and meth. Let's not kid each other.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a little further north. It's mostly coke, right?
No, motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, there's what is it? It's PCP. Baltimore is on the East Coast. It's the end of the PCP pipeline. Okay, that starts in Kansas City. All right, Missouri. That's where a lot of PCP is made. PCP is like the black people's drug. That's their cottage industry. PCP production it's a fascinating story actually. Like black gangsters. All right, started got their precursor or whatever, and started making PCP en masse in Kansas City, and from there they distributed it, to both coasts, right? But yeah, Baltimore's the last stop on the PCP train. They like to take a cigarette and you dip it in the PCP, right? And then you smoke the cigarette. you get a dangerously high, all right? What the fuck are we talking about? Holy shit. China.
We got a little off track.
Yo, you want a freshly dipped cigarette, nigga?
So my Aunt Karen called me yesterday and wanted to know what I knew about the parade. And she called me early enough in the day that I hadn't cottoned onto the news from it at the time. So I've had time to read up on it. Now, part of this parade was to showcase Chinese military might. Okay, China is the largest military threat that we can concern ourselves with, right? China is the most powerful military on the planet, apart from the U.S. And that, y'all, don't get me wrong. Since Obama took office, with the exception of Donald Trump doing some rebuilding, which was just trying to claw back lost ground, the U.S. military has been severely degraded by the Obama administration and the Biden administration. And that's not just these two clowns going out of their way to dismantle our arms stockpiles and to queer the military and to flood the military leadership with DEI garbage. Make no mistake, Biden and Obama both draining the U.S. strategic oil reserve, dismantling what little was remained of American steel manufacturing, and all of that were major contributors there. So the U.S. military has been degraded over the last 20 years to an extraordinary degree, and we are still leaps and bounds beyond what China is. But China, despite being in our wake the way they are, is the most powerful military force on the planet.
China hasn't proven its. China
second to the
hasn't.
U.S.
The thing about China is, China could be the most powerful military on earth. Okay, we don't know because we haven't seen. They haven't been tested. All right. The last time the Chinese military was tested was when they tried to invade Vietnam after we exited the country, and they got their shit pushed in. Okay, they got absolutely savaged by Viet Cong guerrillas who had spent the last 8 years fighting us, right? So they were at the top of their game, and brand new shiny 80-pound communists, start pouring across the northern border. They got shellacked bad, and so Chinese military power is in theory, it is theoretical, but it has not been seen. So
right, and that's what I was about to get to. Just like we just saw with the North Koreans in Ukraine, the fact of the matter is that, like the North Koreans, the Chinese military has no veterans. They don't have, it's one thing to have the best, hottest gee whiz technology, but if you don't have somebody to train your soldiers who has internalized and instinctivized the basic principles of incoming fire has the right of way and the easy road over the grape row is mined, right? They don't have old killers who know what it means for somebody to walk off the path and
to
go
be fair
away.
though, the veteran, the veterans in the U.S. military, all those guys are retiring right now. All those guys are hitting like 20 years right now. Okay, so, and most of them are going to be making up the ranks of the senior NCOs. They're leaving. All right, so we're back to being a pudgy greenhorn force as well. So
Sergeant Major says every gamer can fly a drone. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying civilians with drones will win the next war. Civilians with drones and AR-15s will keep this country safe from invasion.
Yeah. No one's gonna. You can't invading the United Man. Do a show on Fortress America. Okay, like how to take America. Right. The military option is your last choice. So
it's not even an option. Yeah.
It's the last.
I mean the joke. If you land on the East Coast, south of Virginia, when the Marine Corps gets there, there's just going to be bodies on the ground and a bunch of rednecks drinking Bud Light and shining their shotguns. If you land on the West Coast, you're going to roll up on Bloods and Crips, finally having put all their differences aside.
You're rolling up
over
on
Chinese bodies with their gats.
You're rolling up on a heavily balkanized population, okay, that's been subject to military grade psyops, okay, for the last 3 generations, right? People are angry, okay. People are pissed off in this country. People are angry at the government, all right. Partisanship has achieved the point where it's basically the other side are heretics, okay, like it's become almost religious.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that could unite the tribes, as it were, would be if you blue helmets like tried to set shore on the United States, okay, because then it would be all the frustration and anger, okay, and mental unhealth of the American population would be directed against you, and it would be horrific, okay. It'd be mutilation, war crimes, basically taking pieces of your body, keeping them as souvenirs. Okay, it'd be fucking sick. Like just unlock the pent up anger and malice of the American citizen. You'd be shocked what you find.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why you shouldn't come here. We're full. So
Yes, we are.
don't come here.
We are full.
That's right.
We're out of room.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So
unverified is welcome though. You get a free pass.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Unverified's welcome.
Yeah, Bear. As soon as your feet touch terra firma, you give us a ring, and one of us will take you out for a steak and a beer, a proper steak and a beer.
I mean, if you're an Englishman, you're basically a heritage American. You're just really late. Okay, like you came to the party really, really late. All right,
you missed the boat.
Yeah, you missed the boat 250 years ago. But
it's okay. You were late to formation.
Yeah, you missed movement for 250
You missed movement. If you're earlier on time, if you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you get left behind.
Yep, that's right.
I always like that expression. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you get left behind. Well, if A equals B and B equals C, then that means y'all left half an hour ago.
Yeah. Well, the way it was told to me by Sunnydale, it was even worse. Okay, it was to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late, and to be late is to be forgotten. Okay. He made me write this on a little piece of paper. I had to like cut up little pieces of loose leaf paper and write this, and I had to stick this in on the door handles. Okay, of everybody in the barracks.
I remember that shit.
As part of my punishment, I was being punished every single night in Bravo Company. Every single night I was punished, and I had a. I think I broke through the fourth wall with Sunnydale. Okay, at one point, where just out of frustration, I wasn't yelling at him. Okay, I was just having an emotional moment in his office. Okay, at parade rest, right? And I'm just like, you don't understand, drill sergeant. I'm on the radar. I am a bright, blinding light that will never be free. I will never be. Yeah, it was bad. I just like, everything I do, I always get caught. I never get away with anything.
You know, Sunnydale's one of my buddies on Facebook. Oh, just let me provide you guys a little bit of context. Boom, boom.
No. And I can see some sympathy in his face. He's just like, yeah, man. It was after I lost the.
This is Sunnydale.
Yeah. Sunnydale's a cool dude. Okay. And it was shortly after. This was shortly after I lost my firing pin retainer pin. Okay, in the grass. All right, behind Bravo Company. Which, for those who don't know, inside the M16 or AR-15, okay? Far out, man. So in the M16, okay,
yeah, he was America's tiniest badass.
Yep. So in the M16 or AR-15, okay, whatever you want to call it, there's a little pin that's used to hold the firing pin in place inside the bolt assembly, okay? And if you lose that tiny little 25-cent part, the entire weapon is useless, okay? So it's I lost that little pin
Let's
in the
see if we
grass.
can get thrown off of YouTube this morning.
Yeah, right. So I lost that. So then we're standing in formation, and everyone has to like lock the bolt to the rear, okay, to show that their weapon's clear. So they're going down the line. And it's like, correct. Next guy. Next guy. Next guy. And then me. Thunk. The drill sergeant looks at me like, what the fuck is wrong with your weapon, Private? I'm like,
click.
I lost a little pin. So
okay,
that
part's not here.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. So I'm out there. I'm out there.
It lives here. It lives here on a real one.
Yep.
And
So it
it's
makes
yeah,
sense.
it's a
A toothpick will work for a while.
yeah,
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
yeah,
Thank
yeah. Push comes to shove.
you. Yep. So there I am. There I am on the lawn, okay, behind Bravo Company, and the entire company is standing around me in a circle, okay, like it's about to be trial by combat, or it's basically shame him, and I'm on my hands and knees crawling through the grass as the sun progressively goes down further and further, and I lose sunlight. And at that moment, at that moment, I doubted if joining the army was the right thing. They tried to break me. Okay, they tried to break me. Anyway,
I remember. I also remember that.
but I also remember my the monument to the human spirit. Okay, the triumph of the will, if it were, when I stood in front of my company. And I told they're all getting like smoked. Okay, everyone's doing push-ups because Mario decided to show up exactly on time to formation, as opposed to the unofficial on time. You know, like to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late, right? So I saunter up to formation at exactly like as the minute struck the top of the hour. Okay, and I stood in formation. Now they're all getting smoked because Private Romano was late again, right? And I stood in front of them as they're doing push-ups on my behalf, and I told them in a commanding voice, "I will not change for you. Understand that. I will not change for you." As they're face down in the ground, suffering because of me. You're goddamn right.
I remember that. I remember that so clearly. And I was doing my push-ups, and what the fuck do I care? It's just push-ups. Let's do this. And
Yeah,
Mario's giving his little speech up there in front of the unit, and I was laughing so hard. I was
yeah.
just myself
Chris is
laughing.
pushing. Yeah, Chris is like, whatever. Push-ups are push-ups. Oh, this guy's crazy. I like that. This is fun.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Break me, bitch! Come on.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah. let's talk about how the army does things for just a second. I got one more for you.
We already did.
You're gonna love this, Mario. This is straight out of Bravo. This is straight out of Bravo.
Oh God.
They're feeding him a donut while he's getting taped.
Getting taped, which is something I had to do.
Somebody needed to do the neck exercises with the helmet on.
I had to get. I don't miss that. I hated getting taped. The stuff I'd have to do, like. All right, for those who don't know, if you're a soldier and your height and weight don't fit into an arm, if your army size peg doesn't fit into the army size hole, okay, you're going to end up getting they're going to take measurements of your body to verify that you are not fat, okay.
Yeah.
You know, basically because you don't weigh the normal weight that the army wants you to weigh for your height, okay. So people like Chris he never had a chance, okay. Even Chris in top physical form, even when he was his leanest, meanest, and greenest, okay, Chris is getting taped no matter what. All right.
Yep.
Just because he's a physical unit. All right.
I mean, at the time we're talking about, I'm 6'6" and around 265, right? Mm-hmm. The Army standard said at 6'6", I was only allowed to weigh as much as 217 pounds.
You'd be emaciated.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
Yeah, you'd be a skeleton. Anyway, so right, you're getting taped. You go in there. They're going to measure. Yeah, it's body mass index. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Air Olsen. Okay. So what I would have to do is I'd have to smear my entire tummy, love handles, and my lower back with preparation H. Okay,
Yep.
and then I would wrap.
And
I
then
would
you break
wrap.
up the saran wrap.
Yes, you wrap yourself. I had my ex-wife literally wrap me as tight as she could with saran wrap. All right, and then you take your PT belt and you snap it across, basically right across the navel. Okay, extra tight, and you sleep like that overnight. Okay, to
Yep.
literally dehydrate the the cells
And no water.
around your
No
stomach.
water for a day,
You
day and a
wake
half.
up. You wake up. You wake up. There's no hydration. Go do PT. Okay. Go to PT, no water, and don't drink any water afterwards. Okay. If you take a piss and it comes out bright orange, you know you're on track. Okay. That's where you want to be. And then you go get taped. Then you go get measured. That's some real RB shit there, people. Okay. Yep.
I was trying to find. Oh, there we go. There's one. There's one of me and my baby sister, and that's Lowry at 260.
Yeah.
That's being about 260 pounds. Yeah. Yep. And guaranteed tape every time.
Physical units.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've gone so far. We've veered so
We
far
are
off course that
way
this
off the topic.
that this now has now become the show. Yes. So, oh well.
We have become our own show.
I guess I'm all set if you are for this broadcast, unless you want to hang out some more.
No, let's go ahead and put a pin in it right there. I'll do our next ad read tomorrow probably. Got to get 5 for the month. Got one yesterday. We're on track. So
give me real products to shill, okay? Do we have any real products?
Okay, sure. How about this one? Come on, bring me the script. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee yet? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash, right? All single origin, small batch, toxin-free and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a golden spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $9.99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble. Thank you, dear. Wondering if it's actually worth it? Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. And that, my friend, is how you do an ad read.
By the way, Fee, with the product placement there, the timing, that was absolutely perfect. Okay, well done.
I won the wife lottery. I know it. I never forget it.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, there we go. I guess that so we got two of 5. We're moving in the right direction. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll be doing Firearms Friday with some DGUs first thing in the morning. We've got that clip for tomorrow morning. You know the clip. That clip. Ooh. So, y'all be safe out there. Thanks for watching today. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Ciao. It will not release me. Oh, it did. Okay.